Hey everyone, so shop update. You can see here, I got my phase converter all wired up, 3-phase power in here. I'm still working on electrical, there's a lot to do. Let's get this powered up so you can hear it and prove that it works. You got power coming out, going into here, dropping down into the motor. That box spins the motor. It creates the third leg of power. That third leg comes back up into here. You got 3 contacts in here that go to the 3-phase power. 1, 2, 3. And then that drops into here. We have this dead leg right now that will eventually have a junction box here, conduit, and then a flexible cord type wire that will run here to the shutoff box for the lathe, for the big American pacemaker. The mill's power runs through this conduit along the wall and dumps out over here. We'll go fire up the mill to show you that everything works great. It's definitely not a hard install. It's not cheap because there's a lot of extra expenses that come along with it. You know, the wire's really expensive. And, you know, because I had to run conduit and all that stuff. Yeah, that's all this stuff takes time and money, all the connectors, all the box fittings, everything, just outlets, because I'm redoing all the power in here because none of this stuff was here, right? So you see here I got the black stripe here on the wall just behind this bench because I needed to get this bench out of my way. So I still have to do that for the rest of the area. I just did it from behind the bench for now. Cheap LED off Amazon. I'll probably build a little shroud that comes down to keep the light from bleeding out all over the shop, especially when I'm filming, and just have it direct down onto the bench there. And then, you know, I've got an outlet behind here. 4 gang, 4 gang, 4 gang. I didn't pull it across here. I was going to. I was thinking about it, and then it's like I didn't really see a need for it. So I'm gonna drop a power outlet right there between the doors, and yeah, just a power outlet and an air line there. So I can take my hose reel off the compressor and put it over here on the wall, and then it can go out into the driveway real easily and stuff like that. But because the air compressor and the plasma table's here, I didn't see a need to put more plugs back there. So over here we'll have a drop for the plasma cutter on the plasma table and a drop over there for the air compressor. And then obviously my air lines and stuff will run up the wall. I got to do some sort of air dryer type setup on there. And then off of my single phase panel, I'm going to have a large conduit going up to the ceiling, running across that beam, and then I'm going to drop down and I'm going to be heading out the door. So let me turn this off so we can stop hearing it in the background. I wish it was a little bit quieter, but it's not like super loud. Hopefully it doesn't come across on the video as obnoxious, because obviously I'm going to be filming in here and I don't want to have to hear that. But worst comes to worst, I'll build some sort of sound deadening thing over it to try to deal with that. So anyways, power's going to drop out of here. I'll trench over here to the new shop. So let's talk new shop. I've been trying to be nice, but I'm on the hunt for my 3rd concrete guy. Okay. Here's the deal. First guy showed up. I talked to him mid-March. He showed up, when was it? Mid-May. And essentially told me, hey, this is going to cost you $4,000 more than what he quoted me, without actually doing a damn thing to discover, hey, this is going to cost more. You know, and he came over here and he had seen the site before, so I don't know what his deal was. He came over here and took one look at the concrete that was here, that needed to be pulled out of here, and decided there's no base underneath it. That's why it's all cracked up. And I'm like, but we already talked about that. You knew that. You knew you were going to have to bring at least 2 20-ton dump trucks full of gravel to create a base. We talked about that, and apparently people just talk and they don't listen. They don't write things down when they're doing business. They just fucking talk to you and don't, and it's meaningless. So, I had him tear up the concrete and basically told him to kick rocks. I don't like people doing that to me. I've been around the construction scene for a very, very long time, since I was a teenager, working with my uncle. So I know how this works, and I know how this should happen. And I'm a pretty easygoing guy, but when you start pulling funny stuff like that's it. I'll just slam the door shut on you. So the second guy, I had him out here the same day. We talked about it that day, and I've sent him all the information that he possibly needed, drawings, specs, email correspondence with everything that I needed, dimensions, you have it, whatnot, whatever, right? He started work, I don't know what day it was. I have to look back at my text messages. Doesn't really matter. We're here the first weekend of June, and this is what we got. Okay, this was already dug out by the first guy. So he came in here and brought his tamper this week and tamped this area, and him and his guys set up these forms over the course of 3.5 weeks. And then the last day that they were here, they put in this foam board and dug that out by hand, and then put in this foam board and then backfilled it for some reason. So this is supposed to be what's called a monolithic slab. And if you don't know what a monolithic slab is, it basically looks like this. If you're looking at a side view, this is the form wall, right? It comes across, come up, and then you come this way. That's a side cutout, right? So this is 4 inches thick according to my specs. And this is supposed to be at the dirt level here, the grass is here. This is supposed to be 18 inches down from there according to the specs. And then 18 inches in and then angled up. So that means this also has to be like, at least 3 inches. You can't have this at grade. So these are 2x12s. So I don't know how in the hell they planned on doing the footer for the monolithic slab with this setup, But here's my mistake. And again, a lot of red flags. I don't like people hovering over me when I work. So while these guys are out here doing their job, they know what the plan is, they know what the goal is, they know they've got the drawings, they got everything they need. So I want to be out of their way. I don't want to be a distraction. I want you to just get the job done and get it done fast. And this is what I got. And none of it makes any sense. They got an $8,000 deposit. They bought some foam board, bought some rebar, and bought a bunch of 2x12s that, with, and all intents and purposes, are worthless to me. And this form job is worthless because it doesn't meet the dimensions that this needs to be for me to pour the concrete. And I'm not pouring over the dirt because it's just going to crack up. They needed to have a base in here. So I don't know how they planned on accomplishing it, but this is definitely not going to work. So Saturday, today's Sunday, Saturday he shows up with his buddy before they do anything. Now keep in mind, I want to tell you this. I went to bed at 3:30 in the morning because I was in the shop working. I woke up at 5 on Friday. I had woke up at 5:30 in the morning to go to my day job. Went to work, came home, and worked until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I get up at 9:30 in the morning because these guys are here. And the first thing they want to tell me is this is going to cost me $3,000 more because they didn't anticipate the slab being 25 feet wide and 51 feet long, because the original dimensions were 24 by 50. I told them the building is 24 by 50. It's in writing. And that the slab had to be bigger to compensate for the size of the building and to make sure that it didn't crack when you put the anchors and stuff like that. I told them that it needed to be 6 inches extra on each side, which makes it 25 by 51. It's all in email correspondence, but apparently they don't pay attention. So in the end, apparently the extra concrete is going to cost $3,000. Now, if you do the math, the footer doesn't change. The only thing that changes by making this wider is the center. So if you do the math on that and you know how to calculate concrete, we're talking about roughly about a half a yard of concrete. I'll say 2 yards, or I'll say a yard, just to be safe. Yard and a half. We're talking about less than $500 worth of concrete. I don't know how that translates to $3,000. So, in my opinion, I think he was in over his head. I can't imagine how in the hell this much work took 3.5 weeks. I just can't. So, concrete guys should have been able to knock out the forms in a day or 2 days max, you know. But here we are. This is what I got. 3.5 weeks later. Tomorrow, Monday, we will go over the cost of materials and determine how much money he's going to give me back. I already got an idea in my head because I know how to price materials, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully this doesn't end out in court or end out in a worse situation than it already is. Bottom line is I need a third concrete guy out here to do this, or I'm going to have to tear all this shit out and do it myself, which I'm capable of. I just don't want to have to do it because I've got other things to do. So, anyway. So, yeah, that's where we're at in the shop. Sorry, I had to edit that because my wife came out here and bothered me. She's like, no more movie? I was like, well, you're the one that needs to go to bed at 9:30. Or 9 o'clock, I should say. So, anyways, here's the plan for this week. I got exterior lights on both sides now. I used to only have one light over there. Apparently, I need to change the bulb because that one's a little bit more yellow than this one. But whatever. I put new exterior lights. I had this big light out here when we first moved in. It was always out here, but the bulb went bad in it, and I just never changed it. Apparently that's a mercury vacuum whatever something bulb. And I was not aware of that. So nothing on the bulb indicated what it was, so I just took it to the store, found something that looked like it, and then went and grabbed an LED equivalent and threw it in there, and damn near burned up that whole light fixture, and who knows what else could have happened. Luckily I was out here working, but the whole fixture was really hot. The transformer or whatever, not transformer, I don't know, I guess it's a transformer. I don't know what this thing is. This cooked. It burned up the bulb real good. The whole area stinks like burnt up electrical still. Luckily I caught that before I went to bed, and I took all the guts out of it and just hardwired it, and then just bought a new LED bulb. So we got some good lighting going on outside of the shop for once. Once the building gets up, I'll put a couple more of those on it, and then put a big light on the front by the street. And yeah, I'm just going to continue plugging away, getting all this electrical done. I will be painting that stripe at some point this week. It's not super high priority. I want all the machines running. So the lathe is definitely the last one on the list because I got a lot of maintenance to do on that. But I need to get the compressor running. I need to get my welders hooked up. I need to get this table working. This stuff is here temporarily. My plan is to build some sort of a desk area here. I may mount a TV onto the wall there, so on Saturday nights I can watch my fights in here while I'm working. The UFC fights. And yeah, that's what we got for now. I still have to panel off the front and finish insulating the front. Didn't want to do it until I got those lights in. So and now we're at the point where I can do that. And got a lot more work to do, but we're coming along. So thanks for watching. Like always, subscribe, comment, like, and I will talk to you guys later.